Entei, the mono fire type Pokemon, the legendary beast himself. He's back in the raids as of January 26th at 10 p.m. local time. So let's go ahead and jump right in, take a look at these stats here. So for a hundo, you're going to be looking for 1984 or weather boosted at 2480. And his max CP at level 40 goes to 3,473. So not too bad. And then at 50, 3,926. So he almost breaks 4,000, but doesn't quite cross that threshold. But still, really good Pokemon. Let's go ahead and look at his stats. Attack is 241, which puts him at rank 57 for attack. Defense 195, rank 91. Stamina 207, rank 102. Overall, not too shabby. Now, he is 34th overall for stats, and that's excluding CP, but he is 34th overall, mostly because of that attack stat. His weaknesses are ground, rock, and water. We just had Groudon and Kyogre raid, so hopefully you got yourself a good Kyogre or Groudon that you can throw in there and fight this guy up. Now, he does resist ice, fire, grass, steel, bug, and fairy typings, so make sure you're not using any of those when you're fighting this guy. And keep in mind, he also does get Iron Head as one of his moves, so make sure you're not pairing anything that's going to be weak to steel typing, that way you don't go in and all of a sudden, you know, your Pokemon team is wiped out. His level 5 raid is going to put him at 41,758 CP, but this is a doable raid for 2 people, let alone 4 or more. So if you've got a party of 4 people in there, you probably can beat it, assuming everybody's 30 to 35 with proper counters. 5, 6 people, you got this no problem. But you could duo this if you have the right people with the right attackers. You can duo this raid, it is possible. All right, let's jump over and see what we can use Entei for raids and see what movesets we have. So Entei has a really cool move pool. There's actually quite a bit of things that you can do with his charge attack area. Now with the quick moves, you're pretty much gonna want to go with Fire Fang. That's pretty much the quick move you're gonna want to take. While its base damage is a little bit lower than Fire Spin, it will put out a little bit more overall damage and get you your charge moves a little bit faster. So unconditionally, Fire Fang is the way to go when it comes to quick move. Now let's look at the charge moves, and he has a lot of different things going on in the charge moves. Not so much in the area of coverage. His coverage is kind of limited to Iron Head and Return, and just like Raikou, he is not a normal type Pokemon, so Return really isn't going to benefit you in any kind of real way. So Iron Head is kind of the way you need to go here. The nice thing is it does counter some of the typings that generally would counter Entei. So if you're in PvP, you've already switched out, you're on a cooldown for switching, they put something out that's going to hurt you, you've got Iron Head there that's a nice coverage move to actually kind of protect you and still do maybe some surprise damage out. Now as far as stab bonus moves, you have Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Overheat, and Flame Charge. So you've got quite a few things that are going on there, and what are you going to do, right? Which one do you want to pick? Well, Flamethrower and Flame Charge are going to charge a lot faster than Fire Blast and Overheat are. They're just multiple bar charge moves, so they are able to kind of get to that point a little bit faster, and you're going to be able to use those in a lot of different situations. Overheat, a lot of the time, is going to be one of the better options here because it has such a high damage threshold, base damage at 160, so it really packs a super huge punch, especially with your stab bonus. And Fire Blast is nice, but you're only going to kind of use that situationally, and that might be a secondary charge move on your bar instead of your primary charge move. So you're mostly going to go with Overheat in a lot of circumstances, but Flamethrower and Flame Charge do have a place. So let's go ahead and get into the raid guide, and we'll see what we're using there, and then the PvP. Okay, let's take a look at the raid sets here. So overall, you're going to see there's a lot of Fire Fangs here. Now in the top 3 above that orange line, there is 2 Fire Fangs and a Fire Spin. So you do have the option of swapping out for a Fire Spin if you are so inclined to do so, or maybe you're out of TMs to swap it over. So first set, Fire Fang and Flamethrower. Total DPS 16.5, total damage out 808.85, and the time is 6.3. This is the #1 set here for the raids, and it does really well because you get Flamethrower really fast, and you're able to do a lot of damage out. Next set is going to be the Overheat set. Same thing, Overheat hits really hard, so you do a ton of damage. Takes a second longer to get to your charge, but you do a crazy amount of damage, and you're able to really pack a huge punch. The third set here, Fire Spin Flamethrower, it is a little bit faster than the Fire Fang Flamethrower, but it does do a little less damage. So you have that to think about as well. I mean, its total damage out is lowered by only 20, but it is a lower damage threshold, so it is a bit lower. Alright, so looking at the PvP, you can see here, first set we have Fire Fang, Flame Charge, and Iron Head. Iron Head being a very solid coverage move for him, as we talked about earlier, and I know this is the secondary charge move that I went with for my Entei as well. Now, Flame Charge is cool here because it's not the one we talked about a lot, but for PvP, this makes a lot of sense. You're able to get it really, really fast, and you're able to dish out more and more punishment as the battle progresses. So you can see here, the numbers all favor this, win percentage and everything. This is great. First number, 40%, that's your overall win rate. Overall, 86.9. And then you have your power at 86.9 as well. So you've got a lot of benefits to using him. He's never going to be as good as something like a Raikou, but he's very solid. Especially if you don't have a stronger fire Pokemon to really use in PvP, this could be a really good bench warmer for you here, especially if you have a shadow version of the Entei, then it could do a lot of damage and do a really good job for you. So please consider the Entei because he actually can be really good. Alright, so let's take a quick look at some counters that you can use against the Entei for the raid that will be able to drop him really, really fast. If you have a Mega Blastoise, go ahead and Mega him because he's going to really drop this thing down really, really fast. Mega Blastoise is, of course, amazing. And if you have a Shadow version, that's even better. Kyogre, also really good. We just did those raids, so hopefully you got yourself a nice Hundo or High IV that you can use. Rampardos, Rhyperior, Kingler, Terrakion, Swampert, all top choices here for the Entei raids. But of course, there are alternatives you can go with depending on whatever you have. I mean, Garchomps, Tyranitar is always a solid choice. Groudon we just had the raids for as well, so probably you have a couple of those hanging around. So there's plenty of different things to use. But again, if you have a Mega Blastoise, that is really the one to go with. Other than that, guys, I hope you get your shiny Entei. It's an amazing shiny, great Pokemon. I hope you get your Hundo. I hope you get the shiny. I hope you get a lucky one. Get that Schlundo going. And get out there and do the raids, guys. Guys, thanks for hanging out. If you like this or it was helpful at all, please drop a like and subscribe down below. Or if you have any questions or comments, please put them down in the comment section. I do respond to all comments. Or feel free to stop into the Twitch where we do all kinds of Pokemon stuff all the time. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Do appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, take care.